Alrighty, we'll be starting in a very short while. If you want to chat in the chat box and just tell us where you're from, what's going on for you. We'll be starting the New Year's Success Program just very soon, very shortly. Be sure to have a pen and pad of paper ready for the webinar. Tell your friends and family to go to newyearsuccess.com before we begin so they can enjoy and get a part of it too. Alrighty. We'll be starting the New Year's Success webinar in just a moment. I want to welcome everybody. If you want to just drop a note into the chat box that you're here, you're happy, you're all excited about the new year, tell us where you're from, what you're thinking, and we'll be starting in just a moment. Be sure to tell your friends and family, right? And tell them to go to newyearsuccess.com, newyearsuccess.com. and have a pen and a pad of paper ready to take notes during the webinar. Alrighty, we're all excited that you're going to be here, and we're taking off. Okay. Hello, my name is Mike Rich. I'm your host for today's webinar. I want to thank you for tuning in, and you're at the right spot, the right time. We're just about ready to kick it off. So we just want to sort of get things into focus. All right. Are we good there? Good. Got thumbs up. Tell me how it's looking on your end. All right. We're taking into account the new year. And the new year is what it's all about. Right? So we're taking measure of success. And we're looking ahead to making this year the best ever. So this is a live stream webinar, so you can catch it right here, right now as you're viewing it. It's also being made available on YouTube and Facebook Live. So we're going to make this the most bang-up year yet. So we have people from all around the world coming in. That's great. I want to say hello to everybody. Welcome to the New Year's Success Program. And we're going to really kick it off here in just a moment here. So are you ready? Are you really ready? Say hello if you would in the chat box. Let's rock and roll. Let's party. Let's make it happen. This is Mike Rich's New Year's Success event. We've been doing this every year for, wow, since the early 90s when I was hosting the Success Club parties in Chicago, the original Success Club. So newyearsuccess.com, last chance to tell your friends, then turn off that social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all that, because we want you to pay close attention here. Of course, you can send out a few tweets to tell everybody it's happening. We're looking at the new year, making a fresh start. So who's this Mike Rich guy? Well, here's me and Brian Tracy hanging out during my Success Talk show. As a bonus for you to make it all the way to the end and find out what it's all about here, I will give you the interview with Brian. I'm talking about kicking off the new year in style and goals mastery. It's all included in the fun. Just hang out for all that time. I like hanging out with different new age stars of the new age, and celebrity motivation speakers. That's my background. Quick story about me. I used to be Anthony Robbins' national media manager, did his promotions for a number of years. I'd go to the city before he got there and get things going. But my earliest roots were in alternative radio in the 80s. I loved it. It was really fantastic. It was something where, I was a program director of a college radio station and published a newsletter after that. And then one of the radio shows was a motivation talk show, which I started thinking would be great to create a success club in real life, which I did in Chicago, and have chapters all around the world now, actually. Early 2000s, yep, took on a different client. And 10 years ago, I had my first child. It's Elsa to the right. That's a picture when we were living in China. We moved there in 2010, but she was born in 2007. So she'll be turning 11 this year, and Ellen, who's now 8, will be turning 9. Can you believe that? Also started the Voted Best Awards, having a lot of fun with that. Well, that's enough about me. Let's talk about prizes and free gifts. So obviously this is a program to get you all excited about the new year, and you have a little bit about my background and credentials. New Year's Success has been a favorite activity of mine. A lot of people have been copying me now in this particular area, but this is the one true and original New Year's Success program, and we'll be giving out a few t-shirts shortly to prove that. And of course we want to have fun and get you excited about the new year, but this is really coming down to the wire where we need to get a head start on getting our goals and getting all ready for the new year. So that's what it's about, having a fresh start. So I'm asking you to pay attention, and if you haven't already done so, go to newyearsurvey.com. That's the annual survey we do. We ask people what their goals are, and we send these statistics to the media. You hear about them every year. And if you haven't done so this year, please take a moment. You can do it really quickly right now or after this particular webinar. You go to newyearsurvey.com, and that'll help us out with some of the results. So people are always curious, what do people have to say about the new year and what it's all about? Well, everyone talks about New Year resolutions, right? And there's a long history to that, and many of us seek the same type of resolutions: to lose weight, exercise more, quit smoking. If you haven't done that already, let's talk. I'll help you do that in 1 hour. So the ancient Babylonians are said to have been the first people to make New Year resolutions, and that was some 4,000 years ago. They were also the first to hold recorded celebrations in honor of the New Year, although, like in many traditions, that didn't necessarily begin in January, but for the Babylonians it was mid-March. And as you know, we lived in China, and Chinese New Year usually isn't until February. A few years ago I did a New Year's event in India, but they call it Navali, and it was in November. And so, depending where you are and what traditions, it's celebrated at a different time, but whatever it is, it's always an opportunity to talk about renewal. And in the West, New Year resolutions have a long history, and you see right here that that New Year's resolution goes back to 1915 or something like that. Well, I'm not really keen on New Year resolutions per se, because you'll understand that many people don't keep their resolutions. So while many people have been making New Year resolutions for generations down through the millennia, very few people keep them. And the big question is why? If you're making a New Year's resolution, why aren't you keeping it? And I say to you, because resolutions, when they're just made on the fly, are not really thought out goals, and they're not clearly defined in how you're going to keep that goal. Some people say they're going to join the gym, but have they put it on the schedule of when they're going to go and what the routine's going to be? Well, so we want to go beyond resolutions, and that's what New Year's Success is all about. We want to have this new dimension of living and thought where we accomplish goals, and we'll talk about that. But certainly, it's a great opportunity to look at the new year and have a fresh start. So we want to take stock of where we are. And, let's reflect on the year that just passed. This is obviously a time for celebration. For some people are just so happy the last year is over, or they're happy there's a new start. But let's have a quick appreciation, a contemplative reflection on the last year. What did that mean for you? How did it measure up? And just so we don't forget it, maybe we want to write down a quick note or a summary of what happened, so you don't forget it. Later in the year, it's going to seem so long ago, it's still sort of fresh because it just happened. Consider what lessons you learned. What happened, good and bad. What was the end result? Do you remember your resolutions from last year? Did you have some goals? Did you get them? So for my newyearsurvey.com, regular, it's always sort of something where the results regularly reveal what percentage of people think it's a good year or a bad year. How would you rate yours? Well, let's first look at the Brits, because we have people from all around the world on the webinar, and some people are on the call. Obviously, New Year is an exciting time to think about the future and to look at what's ahead. But in the UK, the Brits, a little bit more than a quarter make a resolutions. So it's not as big of a deal there as it is in other places, and only 12% actually keep the resolution. Excuse me. Yeah, and so the 50% motivation thing also reflects that only 50% who make a resolution are committed to keeping it. In the U.S., it's a little bit different. We're all about making things happen, not to put down the Brits, but the percentage here is usually 45% to half of all Americans usually make resolutions, and another 17% infrequently make them. And for us, the New Year resolution, number one, jokingly, is to be more awesome than last year, but why not? That's a good one. But of course, no matter what you look at, the totals come out the same towards the end. Only 8% of people are successful in achieving the resolutions. Only 8%. Why is that? Well, the first week we already have a 25% drop. First week, 25% of people who make the resolutions are going to flunk out. They're going to fail. And by the second week, it's slightly higher, but not that much. Just another 4%. So the momentum is still going. But by the end of that first month, 36% are going to be dropping out. And they're going to say their New Year's resolutions, failed. And after 6 months, it's about 54%. But by the end of the year, it's 92%. It's way up there. So this program is about New Year's success. So we want to get over any idea of New Year fail. We want to make it work this year. So some of the goals are very simple, right? You just want to live your life, maybe read more, be patient, reduce stress, simple things. Other people have more in-depth goals. They're looking to make their fortunes, make their mark in society, whatever it is. This program is how to make this year and next year, why not? Next year even better than ever. Because as you know, this year is going to go by just as fast as last year did. It may seem slow at the beginning, but didn't last year go by fast? So we're looking ahead to make this new year the best it can possibly be, but we're also looking ahead to next year. So keep this in mind. It's not about New Year resolutions. We're looking to go beyond resolutions. So you could do this if you're part of a company, if you have a startup, or you're an employee. Goal-getting theory extends into a lot of dimensions where you can tie your organization, if you belong to a charitable group or a team. Everybody can be involved, and we have programs and resources for that. Goal-getting theory, we're going to get a lot of good ideas here that you can kick off, but it's always great if you can stay motivated, either by getting a coach or a mentor, stay inspired, and continue a process so that you can continually make progress through the year. So is everybody ready? So let's get ready, let's get set. And the idea of going beyond New Year resolutions, everyone talks about, yeah, of course, goal setting. When you think about get ready, get set, goal, we go to the next level, which is actually getting your goals. So we're going beyond goal setting to actually getting your goals. And that's the distinction I want you to help me make. So moving forward, we're no longer calling it goal setting, although that's an important step. You have to get ready, you have to get set, but you obviously want to go and not just get stuck in the mode of, yeah, well, I got my goals set, that was as far as it went, and it's not much more effective than a New Year resolution. So this is going to be your year. Let's ask the big question, and this is where we're going to put the pen to paper. What are your goals? So let's take a few minutes right now and write them down because it's so essential. This is what it's about. This is a working webinar. Now, if you're inspired, just write down whatever comes to mind. It's okay. We don't want to be judgmental right now. Just write them down. What are you thinking about for this year and beyond? What are your goals? And write them down. Okay, there's all kinds of ways you can get inspired. You can ask simple questions. What do you want? What do you want to be, do, or have in your life that's going to make a meaningful difference? And there's a lot of ways you can prompt that. Just think about it. Again, we're looking at creating SMART goals, and the way to do that is turning your resolution into a goal. That's the distinction. And we're going to talk about getting your goals, and to do that you need a plan. So let's look at that. Successful goal getting involves a range of goals. And what does that mean? Well, you have short-term goals, medium-term or intermediate, and your long-range goals, tied into also your routines and daily tasks, things that you're going to do day in and day out, which would be eating healthy, getting a good night's rest, having things prepared so you're ready for the next day's activities, those kind of routines like brushing your teeth. The short range is basically, we look at things basically within a month. What can you accomplish? We're doing things right now, getting ready today for the new year, so that's a goal for a lot of people to have their plans in place, writing down their goals. And then intermediate is really where we're looking to go either quarterly or halfway into the year. And long range, believe it or not, is what you can accomplish in 1 to 5 years. So we might think at the beginning of the year that by the end of the year it's long term, but depending on what your goal is, it's like if you're going to graduate school, right? That's 4 years. You have to think about that in a long-term phase. So, of course, talk about SMART goals, and that's been around for a while, where the goal has to be specific. You have to be really clear about what it is, and it has to be measurable if you're making progress. How do you measure that you're getting there? And, of course, it has to be attainable, so you actually can reach it. And it's relevant to your bigger life picture, whatever your activities are. It's going to fit into things. And, of course, it's time-bound. You have deadlines. When is it going to be accomplished? Now we're going to talk about how to make smarter goals. SMART goals takes the SMART idea, but we're adding the E and the R to make it more ecological. So we want to actually do things that are beneficial within your community, right, for a sustainable future. And it's not hurting your relationships or damaging your health in any way. You don't want to have one goal at the expense of another dimension of your life. We'll talk more about that. Obviously, we want the goal to be rewarding, too. That's what New Year's success is all about, right? So we want to keep things in balance. So we talked about the balance wheel quite a bit. The balance wheel is really important. Some people call it the wheel of life. You just want to look at all the dimensions to make sure that you're complete, you're living healthy and holistically, and things aren't out of balance. Because if they are, then that might be an area where we want to work on. And of course, we don't want to do one particular goal and exert that at the expense of any other area, right? You don't want to, you're driving your car or your truck and you're having one flat tire, even though you're going to tell me, hey, 3 of my tires are good, they're inflated. Well, you want to have a balance across your lifestyle, your work, continuing education, your finances, health, family, and whatever else you can come think about. We also look at where we can maintain and contribute back to society. All those things are very important. And so another way to look at this life dimension is we look at things from the ideal. If you could have everything that you ever wanted, what would it be in these different dimensions? From your family, your career, anything that you could see and imagine, even beyond what this list is. Okay? All right, well, hopefully it's inspired you. So goal getting is about getting started. So hopefully you're writing down those goals. I want to take a few minutes to let you do that. At the same time, we're going to have a giveaway contest. I mentioned that at the beginning. So in order to have this fresh start, continue writing your goals. But if you need to take a quick, bathroom break, that's fine. Get a drink of water. Otherwise, in the chat, just tell me, what do you think so far? Is it making sense to you? What's got you inspired? Anything you've heard so far? Otherwise, tell me what your goals, what you're thinking of. I promise, at this point, keep them confidential. I might mention your first name and all that. So we'll do that. I'm going to go off screen when we give away some of these t-shirts. If you haven't done your New Year survey yet, please do so. And if you have, mention in the chat that you have. Okay? So really great. Just mention in the chat what you think so far. How's it working for you? Anything that's got you inspired, what your goals are, what you're looking to get accomplished this year, what are you getting started with. All right? Okay. So taking a really quick break myself here. I'm going to go off, actually going to go off the PowerPoint into the camera. We'll do the giveaway. I'll recruit my 8 and 10-year-old to help me out here. And we'll have a lot of fun. Okay? All right. Back in a second. There were so many great entries. I'm back on the PowerPoint. So, and they're still coming in. Look, I appreciate everyone's input. It's supporting, and I love it. So, what I want to encourage you to do is to keep going with the process. We're going to cover some more areas, and we are going to explain how to take this information to the next level so that you can accomplish more of those goals. And if you have any questions and we're not able to get to them all within the webinar, I'll get back to you. You should leave your contact information. You can also email me, Mike@NewYouSuccess, and I'll give you my contact information at the end of the program as well. So we're about halfway, but we're really just getting started, really, when it comes down to it. So let's get essentially and talk about what it takes to achieve your ideal life. So again, looking at your ideal, we're looking at living your dream. And I do feel and know it's possible for you to experience some part of it, if not all of it, because I've seen it happen over the years with so many different clients and organizations I've worked with. Once you have it in focus and you know what you want, there's clarity. And now you're able to do what's required in order to achieve the goal. And there's a certain number of techniques, secrets, and strategies which we'll reveal and talk about. I'm very open with this stuff. But your goals, again, need to be in balance. And we're going to cover the 3 most important areas on how to keep it in balance. So the 3 goals to keep within are really more questions. Okay? So are you ready to achieve your ideal life? It's all about dreaming the ultimate goals, right? To make it happen. You want to look at your what goals. What is it that you want to accomplish in your life? Okay? Particularly, in any area of the balance we looked at, but many people look at, well, I want to have a certain amount of progress in my career, financial goals I want to reach in your business, but it also can work with your relationships and so forth. And that brings number 2, the why goals. Why do you want to accomplish these particular goals? It gives you more clarity and strengthen your reasons why to make sure these goals are truly your goals, not something that's imposed on you or something you think you should do and you might get around to it. How strong is that why? So you answer what is it you want to do, be, or have? Why? You should need to know for yourself why. And then how. We can look at, well, how are we going to do them? Right? It's very important. And so here's one thing you could do. You could create a little worksheet for yourself. I'll provide these at the end as well. Some of you have already downloaded these from before, but basically you can create, and here it shows 4 columns, but we don't have room to put 6 in, so we're just going to add the how and the when. So first you list what is it that I want to do, be, or have, right? And then again the why I want it, and then you could add into it why I can do it. So give yourself the reasons why you feel like you can, that you deserve it, that you know what you need to do, and then you're going to write those things into your action plan as it relates. Now you're going to write this sheet for each goal that relates to a particular dimension or one particular goal that you have in mind. So you're going to write then the strategy of how you're going to accomplish the goal, and of course the important question is when. When is it going to happen? Now the big question that nobody seems to ask in the goal setting world is the who. Who is very important. Who is it that not only wants the goal, but who is it that has the goal? If you have an ideal or a dream, who's the person that's living that dream? Now obviously it's different, a little bit different than who you are right now, right? Because that person's evolved to attain and achieve the goal. Right now you know what you want and where you want to go. Let's say what this year is going to accomplish for you. So by the end of this year or to next year, you'll have made a certain amount of progress. That person who's achieved those goals and made that progress obviously is a little bit different than who you are now, because that person's in the future. They've achieved a goal, they've learned, they've become something. And that's what we're going to zero in on. It's the who you are and the achievement of the goal. If you're looking at an ideal, vision, or a dream, the person who holds it, that's attained it, is an ideal self. It's an evolved person, someone who's a bit more conscious, more aware, someone who's a bit more attuned to the process, that can responsibly handle the goal, right? So it's not just by chance winning the lottery ticket and a few years later you're more in debt than ever because you spent it and lost it all, gambled it, whatever. It doesn't happen to the person in the ideal, because the person in the ideal is actually a millionaire, is actually totally fit, a champion, award-winning, whatever it means for you. You've adapted your self-image into the construct of what this is as a person who's magnified to be able to hold the goal. And this is not that far out. Abraham Maslow was way ahead of the time before positive psychology, and Wayne Dyer wrote about these ideas. And if you remember the pyramid, it's demonstrated on the chart here, it shows the hierarchy of needs. The bottom level people are struggling, they're in survival mode and security. But as you go higher up and you have a bit more maturation and ability to self-actualize yourself, you're able to become that artist or become more masterful as a tennis player, for instance. These are just imagined scenarios. Whatever it is for you, you wrote down the goals, so that's what needs to be examined. And that's the critical part of what we're talking about here for our project this year. When we look at goal getting, we're looking to win, and the win plan is achieving this ideal self. So we're prepared for the future ahead. Now, we're doing this webinar in January of 2018. Isn't that amazing? So this is a great start to your new year because you've taken the time to invest here. Hopefully you're not being distracted. You're paying the attention that's due because it's that critical for you. These goals are that important. So consider what it is you want to achieve that will make your entire life better and enriched. And we're going to look 1 year ahead. So it's not just for 2018. Obviously we want this to be the best year ever, but it should feed into 2019 and 2020 and 2021. And if you're looking ahead to 2023 and you're thinking, oh, it's really far away, that's not. That's in 5 years. 2020 is right around the corner. It's the year after next. So hopefully it's putting some urgency. It's lighting up the fire underneath you and you're going, oh my gosh. So you can ask the how now. How and what you can do to ideally become this new person. Right? Who you are in the future, imagine. A lot of people have even imagined their future. So, and you can imagine what that's going to be like when the time's going to pass anyhow. What would you have accomplished in that time if you don't have a vision or a goal? So part of the process to becoming the ideal, and here's one of the secrets. For those of you who remember me doing the Success Club lectures back in the 90s, this is what I zeroed in on. It's the flight you take every day. See the picture of the TWA, Trans World Airlines, if you remember those, but I saw those in TWA and I thought, that's an acronym. Acronyms are, the letters that stand in place for another word or represent a formula. In this case, it's becoming a bit more aware in the ideal how that person thinks, the words they use, and the way they act. A refined person is going to be different than someone who's not. So paying a bit more attention, observing yourself in this regard, like what am I thinking, what are the quality of the words I'm using, and how am I acting, you're going to tend to wake up to yourself. The observer being observed and how you're being present, how are you showing up. So pay attention to your thoughts, because they become words. Watch the words that you use, because you're going to act out off of that. Sometimes your actions speak louder than your words, but certainly they become habits and they build character, and that will lead to destiny. So whether the goals are in the immediate and long term, how you show up and perform and demonstrate this ideal self is it's like brace yourself for greater impact and results if you get this, because this is the key to unlocking everything. It's the flight you take every day. It's a reflection of your altitude and your attitude. Being aware of your thoughts, your words, and your actions, and to carry the thoughts that you want to have rather than the thoughts controlling you. Who's the thinker of the thought? It's you. So a Smarter Goals worksheet. So we have a lot of free worksheets. No problem. They're available to you. You could just write this out. You can make a couple, 3 big squares, and then have a bigger one at the bottom. What's your goal statement? And again, keep it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely, ecological, and rewarding. So that's going to encourage you and motivate you. Ask yourself what you need to achieve this goal. Where are you now? I have another formula called P2E2. You have to have a plan, and you have to prepare the plan. So you have a great goal. What do you need to get ready for it? What are the resources? Put them in place. And then execute and evaluate. So you look at your obstacles and what the solutions are. So if you think you're going to be stuck at something or you're going to need something in the future, well, right, how are you going to accomplish that? Now, to the right, we have the day part of strategy. Now, I'm just putting this up really quickly because I can go into this quite a bit, but I really want to speed things along here because we're about halfway in our presentation. I know I said that earlier, but time-wise, I want to be out of here at 27 minutes. So hopefully you gain some really great information, but many times over the years, people have said to me, well, you got great ideas, Mike Rich, but I just don't have time to do my goals. So here's the thing. I know that you're busy and you've got a lot of distractions, a lot of things are going on during the day, and we all have to work. Well, we all have 24 hours in a day. We're all equal in that regard. Some people have busier lives than others, and yet they're accomplishing more. How's that possible? The research shows the busier the people are, the more they're getting done, and they're not complaining about time because they're able to manage it. So day parting is one strategy. Rather than just being narrowed down to a half hour, an hour within a period of time, you might look at one block of time in relationship to the balance wheel and say, well, I'm just going to work in this particular area, and it could be something you start. Like someone says, I don't have enough time to write. Zig Ziglar would either write a chapter early morning or every night before he went to sleep would type a bit. So you would always find the time to do it. And there's just one example of how you do it. So even if you're really busy, I remember when I was consulting, I think it was IBM or AT&T, one of those big companies way back when in the 80s. It was busy, but I managed to do a lot of reading during my lunch hour. I read a lot of books during that time. So one way you can write out this weekly routine is look at your calendar and say, okay, I'm going to, every morning between 6 and 10, which is, if you look at a day part strategy, where I got this from is how radio stations function. You have your morning personalities usually on between 6 and 10 a.m., right? So you could have a certain routine outside of listening to the radio. So it might be stretching, or doing a run, having a great breakfast, or working on your goals. You could do a number of things within that block of time, but you've given yourself that block of time to do it. And you can reward yourself with a happy face or whatever. You can use the Smarter Goal strategy. And you look at your midday, your afternoon, evening, and night. So in reality, just within the chart I'm demonstrating now, you at least have 5 distinguished blocks of time, usually at least 3 to 4 hours, if not more, where you can accomplish things within each block. And still have a great night's rest, have a great relationship because you've got it all figured out. You're running off of positive routines and habits, getting your list of to-dos done, and accomplishing some really great goals. So for those people who don't want to work the weekend, you still can, on your goals, you still can get a lot done Monday through Friday. And if you don't like the day part strategy, you can just look at this being a checklist of particular goal actions you're going to take, your daily habits, right? Did you brush your teeth today? Great, a smiley face. Whatever it is that you're going to do, fold your clothes, right? Okay, so every day you can be something related to the ideal, and you just need to plan out your week's schedule. And of course, we want to look at this as your month as well. And you have 4 of these schedules, right? 4 weeks make the month. 12 months makes your year. So every day holds a new opportunity, and today's a great day to start whenever it is. We talk a lot about Mondays because in the people that I coach and consult, Mondays were really when we kick off the week, right? You have your Monday morning meeting, your motivation webinar, whatever it is, that's going to do it for you. We offer quite a bit of tools. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the idea is just to keep going and know that it's worth it because it's for yourself, it's for your family, for your community, for your business, for your, for whatever you feel. If you're coming from the heart and this is what you want to be, do, and have, then we're supporting you because we know that you can make a difference. And that's what it's all about, right? Right? I hope so. So how do you become it? Well, it's looking at this ideal, right? This is the dream. Who is it that I need to become in order to achieve these goals? Right? Think about whatever it is, that particular person with some becoming aspect. Someone wants to lose weight. They want to become thinner. Well, it's a different self when the goal is achieved. So the key is you have to act as if. You act as if you already have the goal. Yeah. Imagine it that you have it and work backwards. What would it be like if you had the goal? What does it feel like? How do things look different? What do you hear? What do you sense? Bring it closer to you. That's the exercise. So the key is to write your goal as a routine. And you want to take the want. If the goal setting is about knowing what you want, and you set it as a goal. Now we're looking at becoming, so it's the I am, and ultimately the I, right? It's me. So this is one example I took off the internet, and I just crossed a couple things out to make it a bit more clear. But looking at goals that you know you can achieve, to bring it closer to fruition and make it happen. Instead of saying I want, like the example here with your family, I want to eat at the dinner table twice a week. Doesn't seem like an unreasonable goal. But when they say they want to do it, they actually haven't done it yet. So cross out the want to, and as your affirmation, you say I eat at the dinner table twice a week. And you know what? It becomes reality because you do it. Because you eat at the dinner table at least twice a week, maybe 3, maybe it gets more of an everyday routine. So instead of I want to tell a family member I appreciate them once a week, it becomes I tell a family member I appreciate them once a week, and then maybe it becomes I tell a family member at least once a day that I appreciate them or more. Isn't that amazing? You get the concept? So you can look at that, whatever you want in your life, and look at it as something that you already have accomplished. What would it be like to have it done? In the ideal world, it would be. So imagine it, just for the exercise of it. Right? Some people say, well, is that being a bit pretentious, or are you faking it till you make it? Well, you have to imagine it. Otherwise, how could you grasp the responsibility involved? Are you going to round yourself out to become that person that can achieve the goal? So, Gedanken's German word for having a thought experiment. It's a very powerful way to do it. Otherwise, if you didn't play it out this way, how would you know you really want the goal unless you imagine already having it? And really imagine that you have it. How would you be different? How would you operate from that viewpoint, from that perspective? Well, we offer a lot of different supports in that way. My consulting and coaching is a bit different. I tend to coach coaches and CEOs because people in powerful positions, as you know in my background, a number of celebrities and authors, some work with me because they just want to get more famous. My background, having promoted seminars and events. Otherwise, I'm looking to help people achieve their ideal to perform at maximum capacity. And the ideal is the way to go because it's goal getting, but we're looking at taking, it's actually just becoming, manifesting what it is that you want to have. So we look at a role model. So we role model ourselves. And there could be someone in your life that you really looked up to because they were such a great model for you. Could have been a teacher, a good friend, a family member, and they just were a great way shower. Whether you learn how to fish from someone or someone taught you a skill or just through their example, you learned something. So there's ways to do it. The ideal self is where you aspire to be, and you look at, where you are right now and how you're projecting yourself, and we bring it all together. So it's deciding to evolve, to advance, and ultimately to let go so you can embrace the new ideal, the new you. So again, just to quickly review, it's the act as if principle. So you act as if you already are the person who you want to become. That person is now being. So you're ultra being. You're being this person. So again, just imagine it. Act as if. Try it on for size. Because if you really want the goal, who's the person that has the goal? If you grasp it, it's no longer goal setting and it's goal getting, it's goal having. I get it. I got it. And then you have to ask, how does that person act? What do they eat? What type of exercise do they do? How do they dress? How do they show up? Once you answer those questions, you just do the same things to make it happen. Eckhart Tolle said, accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. This will miraculously transform your whole life. Eckhart Tolle wrote The Power of Now. Imagine it, that you've chosen this moment, this particular opportunity, and it could transform your whole life. Just grasping the concept of the ideal is a transformation because you're living your ideal, the dream come true. So this is what it's about, becoming your ideal self. So we're looking at a new year and a new you. Now this is one of the programs that I offered for the first time last year, and it's experimental mode. This year I'm opening it up so that you can take it on for size. If you're looking to take massive action to reach your goals, to be the change that you wish to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi said, then it's up to you to make things happen. And this program is all about helping you achieve your goals by becoming this ideal, this new you, this higher esteemed self, raising your consciousness and your way of being. So without having to go too much in the sale or prompting you, and I know I'm breaking the rules by not giving you all the different price points, let me just say to you that by acting today, you're getting it for half price. That's the lowest it's ever been offered, the lowest it ever will be. It's just for this particular time, for kicking off the new year. You could spend thousands of dollars to see a therapist. That might be money well invested. Or you could look at your goals and have a really clear picture and not letting anxiety block you or stop you. We're also going to be doing the mastermind this year because people have asked me, am I going to do the mastermind? I probably have a longer history than most people who've been around because having started the Success Club was a modern evolution of the mastermind concept. And if you're not familiar with masterminds, then you got to read the book Think and Grow Rich. It's just having a like mindset of people who are supporting you as you support them, and together there's a synergy that happens that does raise the stakes, and everybody benefits. They stay focused, and you get maximum results. Now there's opportunity for coaches, if you are a coach, to become involved. I'm looking at also creating a coach club this year, so if that's of interest, let me know. If you're somebody who wants to become a coach or looking at starting a mastermind group yourself, I offer training and help start a number of masterminds around the country, and the VIP mastermind is one of the best. And I'm looking at spinning that off into a mastery circle, so that's something we'll talk about as well. So in the mastermind concept, we will work on monthly goals, included within conference calls and a number of support structures that will work on helping you achieve more than you ever imagined. So I know a lot of people are looking for a mastermind, so I thought I'll offer that, and people will sell it pretty quickly. It's limited because each circle will only have 12 people, and I'm only looking to do 12 circles. I don't want to manage more than that. I feel that within each dimension of a circle, we can bring something to the table, whether some people are into IM, like internet marketing, another group might be into startups, another group might be just into health and dimensions of self-improvement. So that will come together, but I'm looking for the first circle up to 12 people, and that's what you apply for by going to the VIP Masterminds, because I'm looking for a certain type of person who will have more people apply. And it's not necessarily we didn't like you or want you. It's just that it's almost first come, first serve, and it's based on the idea that there's a good fit into what we're offering here. So when opportunity or change is thrust upon you, how will you be? Are you going to revert to this ideal understanding where someone's going to be defensive, critical, negative, right? So we want to look at all the things that are going to be positive attributes to help us achieve the goals we want. We want to move forward. So again, the website is VIPmasterminds.com. And there will be a number of people coming into the program who are coaches or experts in certain areas, lending their expertise, and we appreciate that and honor you for that. And I'm sure everybody has something to give. That's what a mastermind concept that is. So your chances of success, 0%. Someone says, I won't. I'm just not going to do it. And a person who says, I can't, that's going to be 10%, 20%, I don't know how. But the 100% is going to be in the ideal. If you know that this is right for you, that's where we're going. I'll take a few IMs and ICANNs. And if I think I can spend an hour with you and do some NLP and boost you up to the 100%. We can work with that, because success is a state of mind. If you want success, start thinking yourself as a success, and that's what it's all about, baby. Let's talk about the basics of achievement and enjoying a great